Hi guys, I'm back with week 2 of Return to Drangleic 2023. It's come to an end. We're done with it. It's no longer happening anymore. And I'm gonna be honest. You'll notice that this video is half the length of the other one. I didn't get very much good footage, and frankly, I kind of lost steam on this run a little bit, which I'll talk about in a sec. I was not able to get much more PvP footage. I didn't really want to invade with this build in its current state, because the only spells that I had for most of this were like Dark Orb, Dark Fog, and Dark Weapon, which are fine, but like, you know, it's not really much of a, you know, I can't invade with this setup effectively. Also, I notice the Pilgrim Spontoon is quite bad. You'll notice it was doing pretty bad damage there. That's typical. That guy didn't just have really high dark defense. The weapon has bad damage. It's not a good weapon. For example, like the Mace of the Insolent, which is another like hybrid catalyst weapon. It does, on average, it does like 100 more damage than this thing does on a typical attack. And it has shit range. It's very the range is low. It's not a long spear. And this is a good game for spears. It takes a lot for a spear in Dark Souls to be like a bad weapon. This is like the best game in the series for spears, and this thing, it just is not very good. And it's not a very good catalyst either, because like I said, the damage is low, and your dark damage is what determines the damage of your hexes that you cast with the thing, right? I'm talking fast, I feel like. I'm a little buzzed. I'm drinking a Cold Stream peach iced tea. Anyway, your dark damage determines the damage of the hexes that you cast with it. And this thing it doesn't have good damage, so the hexes don't do good damage. Now you make up for this a little bit. As you can see in a couple of the clips, maybe already, the first one especially, you can buff the Pilgrim Spontoon. Now when you buff it with dark damage, that obviously also increases the damage of the spells that you cast with it. Which is pretty good. The other thing this thing has going for it is, being a weapon, it has a counter damage stat. So it has 120, I think, counter damage, whereas most catalysts, most staffs and chimes, and pyromancy flames have 100, meaning they don't do any extra damage. You can counter hit with any damage type in this game. It is not like the other Souls games and Elden Ring, where only physical damage can counter hit. You can counter hit with anything in Dark Souls 2, which means that, hilariously, you are able to counter hit with spells that you cast with something that has counter hit, that has a counter hit stat. So that is the other pro of the Pilgrim Spontoon. But really, a counter hit with the Pilgrim Spontoon is just a normal hit with the Dark Witch Tree branch. So it's not especially good. Like, overall. Like, it just makes it up to par. I don't think the damage would matter very much in PvP, I will say. I feel like this would perform fairly well in duels with a setup, which my planned setup for this when I eventually actually finish this build, because I never managed to do so during the event. It's gonna be like Affinity, Dark Greatsword, and like Dark Orb, and then I'll buff the thing so that I can cast those with it. I think that will be good. The damage won't be an issue in PvP, but most enemies can take a hit or two in Dark Souls 2, and so it doesn't perform well in PvE at all. I've been having a bad time with it. This is after, like, so I got this about partway through Shaded Woods, I want to say. Was where I was when I started using this thing. And I used it all the way through Shaded Woods, which was my last of the 4 Lord Souls, and all the way through Drangleic Castle. I really couldn't make it work. It doesn't do a lot of damage. Hey, did you know, by the way, that if you plunging attack this priestess, she never gets up. She just lies there in the water. Never moves. I thought that was really funny. I forgot about that until I did this in-game. And then I was like, I need to put this in the video. But yeah, the Pilgrim's Pontoon, not very good. I also upgraded the Scythe of Nar Alma, which I don't believe I have any footage of using in this video. I just switched back to the mace because it's strong as hell at this point. And then for Undead Crypt, like, there's a lot of stuff that's resistant to dark in there, I think. So I was using the Fire Longsword again. But yeah, Scythe of Nar Alma, kind of cool. Doesn't do very much damage, technically, I guess. Its damage stat is relatively low, I think. But it is a scythe, so it also has a sweet spot. It's unparryable at that sweet spot, too. So that might be fun to play around with at some point. But unfortunately, I have no footage of it, so I'm not going to talk about it that much. In any case, I mess around a lot with the Pilgrim's Pontoon. I could not get it to really work on as like a main weapon for playing through the game with. It just has bad damage. You probably heard that. That was me plugging my phone in because I realized that it's at 13%. There we go again. Another sound. If you didn't hear that, I'm not insane. It made a doo-doo-doo-doo-doo sound noise when I did that. Here's me getting fucking owned by this NPC. Yeah. I got through to the end of the Undead Crypt last night, and that was, I believe, last night, or even the night before, maybe, was the end of Return to Drangleic. Spell parries in this game are hilariously bad. It is absolutely no fucking carry and retaliation, I'll tell you that for free. Yeah, like, the utility of it is pretty good, but I would say, I've not used, or looked at, really, the Sorcerer's Twin Blade, so the Sorcerer's Twin Blade could be worse, but, out of everything that I have, sort of paid any attention to in this game, I would say that the Pilgrim's Pontoon may be the actual worst. catalyst weapon hybrid. Because the Mace of the Insolent seems pretty okay. It won't work for the setup that I have planned to use because it only casts Shine Hexes. But I did upgrade it on this character because I wanted to give it a try. So I may use that at some point as well. Isn't it fucked up that none of these enemies are affected by the chest-high water that they're walking through? They just fucking sprint at you. I almost died. I thought I was gonna die here. In any case, these guys are really annoying because their AI is fucked up, and they start like running away from you, or they start like blocking and running away from you. Well after they start like the range that they start running away from you it overlaps with the range that they start attacking you, if that makes sense. So they'll do this shit right after busting out a huge fucking combo. Recollection, by the way. Shout out to Recollection. Fucking terrible spell. Actually, like, one of maybe the worst hexes in this game. Absolute, like, complete fucking dog shit spell. I tried. I really did try to make that thing fucking work. It just doesn't. It just does not do anything. It's so bad. It works like the glintstone stars or whatever in Elden Ring, but it's just bad instead of good. So there's that. This is a weird Demon of Song fight because it just, well, you can see it. You'll see what happens here. But hopefully this, like, you can tell how poor the damage on this thing is. Like, I have nothing to compare it to on this, I didn't bother fighting Demon of Song twice to show off how shitty the thing's damage is. But, like, hopefully this is proof enough that it was not very good. Anyway, yeah, he kind of just uses the same attack like 3 times in a row and then dies. So, interesting fight, for sure. Man, what else? What else have I got going on here that I can talk about? Dark Fog, actually, you would be maybe surprised to know how many enemies in this game you can poison. It's a lot, actually. Quite a few. You can poison many of them. There's me trying to capitalize on the Hex's stamina damage to get a guard break. It did not happen. Yeah, the damage on this thing is just, I can't stress enough, it's not very good. The durability on it is also quite bad. I think we're finishing off with my Velstadt fight from this playthrough because he's one of my favorite bosses in the game. I have immense respect for Velstadt. The one time that I ever did a no death run to get the funny ring, Velstadt was the one that almost ended it. Because he does so much damage. I think I may have needed to quit out to stop him from straight up ending my run at like the 80% complete mark. He does a lot of damage. And he's got, like, you know, he's got those crazy fucking backswings on his attacks, which does not help matters at all. he does a lot of damage, as I've mentioned 100 times already, probably. I don't know. I am, once again, a little bit buzzed. But then he hits phase 2 eventually, and that damage is like near doubled, I think. All pure physical damage, I want to say, too, because it's different from his weapon somehow. Like the player version of his weapon. He like halves the amount of damage that you can deal to him during that time as well. You can't poison him. It looks like you can't poison him. I'm gonna be real. I did not cast more than one Dark Fog to test it out, as you can see. But I feel like you can't do that to him. In any case, Velstadt is one of my favorite bosses in this game. He has, for sure, one of my favorite visual designs in this game. And the Sacred Chime Hammer is a fucking crazy weapon. I might have mentioned last time that I kind of wanted to use it on this character. Maybe I should have. Because it probably would be more powerful than the build that I ended up going with, which is fine. I don't mind like making a build and having it not be as strong as I thought it would be. That's okay. But yeah, I mean, I never ended up finishing this playthrough. I've been back to work in the last week, so had much less time than I did in the first week. Feeling a lot better from the bronchitis that I had. And yeah, I also have been wanting to get back into For Honor a little bit. If you would like to see some For Honor content on here, let me know. So leave a comment, like, and subscribe, etc. And I might post an update on this build when I get around to finishing it some more. So yeah, thank you guys, and have a great day.